Good afternoon, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee on the Coast. Good
I,
afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, and as you can tell, this is not Lisa Devins-Horohoe. My guest today is Tim
oh,
Gedzinski, Manitowoc Public Library. Hi, Tim.
hello, or else Lisa's falling. As Lisa, have fallen on some definite hard times.
Considering Lisa was my guest just last week, I think the audience might know.
They might know. I mean, she does grow a beard pretty quickly, though.
Oh, gee.
So I've heard. But no, Lisa, just couldn't make it today. So I decided rather than try and wrangle someone else, I would fill in.
Well, thanks for making the time. And I suspect you have all the details we need to know anyway, because next week, and this has been on my calendar now for ages, I'm looking
I'm
forward
not
to it.
shocked.
The used book sale, the biggest sale of the year, June
It is the
26th.
biggest sale of the year, and it's actually it's one of our biggest events of the year too. I mean, people really look forward to it. Um, we're swamped, for the 3 days of the sale, which, by the way, is Thursday, June 26th, Friday, June 27th, and Saturday, June 28th. The Balkansky room is just swamped. I mean, and it's great to see all these people that want to get their hands on books. And quite honestly, it is a great deal. Like mostly everything in the whole Balkansky room. And there are just thousands and thousands and thousands of books there. They're all available for $1, some less, but mainly, if you come thinking everything's going to be $1, you'll be all ready to go. And there's a table that has things like, oh, DVDs, some rarer things. Those cost a little more than $1, but just come and check it out. Nothing is terribly expensive.
Is it adults and youth materials?
Oh yeah, adults, youth materials, picture books, board books, novels. There's some manga and comic books thrown in there. There's typically a bunch of magazines too. There's some books on CDs. There's CDs, just music CDs for those who still have CD players. But yeah, the room just gets swamped, and it's wonderful to see all these people that just want to get their hands on the old timey paper books and everything. So
Yeah, and so you kind of touched on the next question I was going to ask was, do you have even an estimate of the number of materials that are available? And you said thousands and thousands?
well, I mean, I honestly don't know how many there are because they never run out. They're ready to replenish after the used book locusts descend, and they gobble everything up. There's always more books, but it's not that hard to come up with the materials you need for it because people are constantly donating books to the library.
Oh,
And
oh.
also, we're constantly taking things out of circulation, and sometimes, they get returned. Sometimes it doesn't happen that fastly, and things wind up in the used book sale.
So to that note, does the library welcome donations? Are there certain donations that you're looking for?
Well, I can't say that there's anything we're looking for other than books in good shape. I mean, if books aren't in good shape, they're just better off being recycled. But what you can do is anyone can come in, and if it fits in a paper grocery bag, that's the amount you can donate, just dropping it off. And we have people, pretty much every day donating, maybe not that many books, but a certain amount of books, get donated every day. And if you have a very large collection of books that you want to, or a large collection of anything, it could be CDs, it could be DVDs, anything, you would need to make an appointment with Lisa, who was supposed to be on the show today. And
This is
uh,
not Lisa.
no, although sometimes I am called Lisa. But
Me
that
too.
well,
Kidding.
how are we both called Lisa? Oh, it's because we're Wonder Twins. That's
Yes.
but um, oh, there we go. Third time's a charm. And then you have to just meet with Lisa, and she kind of vets it. And if they're all interesting and all in good shape, what so many things at the library, it's peculiar. But what it comes down to is a matter of space, because where we're built and where we're located, we don't have a basement. So
Oh.
so storage in the library is a real premium, and there is a friend's room that is filled with books, and frequently there's just nowhere to fit things in anymore that people can go through it and sort it. But they spend a lot of time getting things set and ready to go. By a lot of it is it's bookstore-ish, at the used book sale, so it's by genre. And
Can I say I love that? I love how the things are laid out and organized kind of by Dewey Decimal System, right? So if you know that you like travel nonfiction, there's like a whole section, right?
yeah.
Or there's like the section for fiction. It's great because you can kind of target what you already are interested in.
Yeah, and the friends they put a great deal of time into it, the organizational and the setting up of it, the tearing down. It's by far their biggest fundraiser of the year. You
What
know,
happens with the funds that they raise? Like what sorts of things do they like to do with them?
well, the friends in general just help to augment what isn't covered by what we get, as our operating budget. But what I would say more than anything, the friends uh, help to make well, they don't just help. They honestly make the summer reading program per. They really are the motivating force in many ways behind the funding of the summer reading program.
Cool. And the friends, are they just volunteers that have a passion for the library and making knowledge available to everyone?
Pretty much, yeah. And,
I
and
love it.
anyone can join the friends. Just head to our Facebook there, and go under the tab of who we are, and you can join the friends, and
Kudos.
anyone can do it.
Thank
And
you,
this is the
friends.
biggest volunteer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's interesting because I've been to this book sale a number of times. I've actually found some of my favorite books, like books I've ended up loving, just randomly at the sale. And it seems like even though it's crowded, right? Like there's a lot of other people excited about the same book sale. I feel like we're always looking at different books. Like I never feel like there's people looking
Oh
at the
yeah.
exact same books. Do you know what I mean? So even though there's a lot of people, everyone's kind of circulating, doing their own thing.
And by and large, fights don't break out.
I have not seen one. I have yet to
No,
witness one.
I have never witnessed one myself, but you're right. Everyone is kind of looking for their own thing. And people show up. They're the people that really want to get first crack, and they show up bright and early. Well, bright and early is at noon, on that Thursday. But yeah, people who are really, really into it. And then there's conversely the other end of the spectrum where people are really looking for like what hasn't been what's been looked over. And they show up on Saturday, and Saturday is I'm sure but what happens on Saturday.
Oh, tell us on Saturday. I'm just going to put this graphic up to remind people of the dates as you're telling us.
Well, Saturday the 28th, which is from 9 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, is Stuff a Bag. And Stuff a Bag is you have a paper grocery bag, and as many books as you can fit into that bag, $4.
That's amazing.
$4 for the whole kit and caboodle. So it's great. I mean, it's still just June. If you're an avid summer reader, just come to the Friends Used Book Sale Thursday the 26th through Saturday the 28th and stock up.
So what are some best practices? Like if a person's going to come, is it cash only? Can you pay with a check? Do they take debit cards?
It is cash and local check only. No debit cards. If you happen to wander into the library forgetting to bring money, which is natural because the library isn't a place that charges for a great many things, if almost nothing. There is a ATM machine downstairs by the service desk. Should you find more books than you brought,
Yeah,
currency for?
it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing though. You can take $10, go to the library book sale, and get 10 different items at least.
Oh yeah,
So what a treat.
yeah. No, it's a fantastic thing, and I'm so glad we do it, and I'm so glad the friends, put all their efforts behind it because they really do. They help so much to make the summer reading program as fantastic as it is.
Should a
So
person, if they think they might be getting a number of things, like if a person's hoping to, they're coming with $20, $50, for example, that's a lot of books. Should
it
they be
is a lot of
bringing
fun.
their own boxes or their own bags or anything? Or is
Well, we have a number of just standard plastic grocery store bags that nobody wants that we use, we gather them to use at the book sale. But I mean, if you're really going to go to town, it might not be the worst idea to bring some sort of wheeled vehicle that some sort of cart that you can take on to the elevator,
Gotcha.
if you're really going to go crazy. But otherwise, if you're really going to be buying a large amount, they are just flimsy plastic bags, so it
So a
probably would
person
be
could
better.
bring canvas bags if they
Oh,
wanted, or
canvas bags, like
coats.
you said, boxes,
Okay.
a Sherpa, anything that that's going to get the books back to your house
The
in
thing
a
is,
safe
you
and
never
orderly.
know, right? Like I've gone there before. Like, okay, I just want to get one book. I just want to find one little treasure, and then all of a sudden, like my arms are full. Like, I should have brought somebody to help. You know?
I don't believe you've ever come looking for just one book. That's the most ludicrous thing I have ever heard. Knowing you now with your new arm, can you carry more books? Oh my goodness! Does it does it make a sound? Is that the sound your arm
Oh,
makes?
I think I was making that. I think I was doing my
Oh, okay.
own Foley effects
I
for the arm.
I just was so intimidated by the power grip that I thought it was making some sort of space age sound as it went across.
No, you know what though? To honestly answer your question, right? Like they have to fit in this grip. So I couldn't exceed this thickness
Okay.
of books, right? And then I'd have to be able to grip down. But then the other challenge is the weight. I still have to be able to support that weight.
Oh,
So it'd be kind of an interesting test to see, to answer your question for real. But I already know that those are some of the limiting factors that we'd have to take into consideration.
or you could bring your Sherpa Teak and have him carry all your books.
And he would. He's awesome that way. And he's
Well, he is.
strong.
He is strong like bull, that Teak.
What I love is he said he's already got it on his calendar and he's like, "Hey, I'm going, so I can take you if you want me to." I'm like, "Okay, yes, please."
Awesome. I love that he's got it on his calendar, though.
Me
That's
too.
very cool.
Me
And
too.
let me give the times just so that,
Yes.
it's not that it's that involved because it's during library hours, but Thursday the 26th, it runs from noon till 7:30 p.m. Friday, it runs from 9 in the morning till 5:30 p.m. And then on Saturday, it's 9 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. So essentially, on Thursday it starts at noon just so they can get all the last minute setup done. But otherwise it runs during normal operating hours at the library until we're half hour from closing.
Okay. In past years, do you have an idea of the number of patrons that have come through?
No.
No. Okay.
I'd be lying to you if I said I knew. If you had Therese or if Lisa was here, maybe they could tell you. But it's summer. So well, obviously everyone knows it's summer, but with it being summer, with the summer reading program in full swing as it is right now, plus the book sale, plus events and everything, it's hard to get a door count exactly for specifically how many people are coming just for the book sale. And there's a lot of crossover too. So some
Yeah.
people might be coming here for a story time and wind up bringing their kids into the room and getting
And why
books.
not do both? How awesome. Take advantage
Yeah,
of everything that's going on at the library. I
yeah.
do know, maybe 2 years ago, I went to the sale and Teague and I got there, 11:30, something like that, to get in line. And we were like not the first in line. There was already a line forming. And by the time the doors opened at noon, there was quite a long line.
Oh yeah, honestly, it can run down the stairs. I've seen it run almost all the way down from the entrance into the Balkansky room to all the way downstairs. So it is a popular event, and it does, like I said, it's pretty intensive, the amount of work that goes into it. W- When I first started here, there were actually two sales a year.
Yeah.
There was a summer and a winter,
Winter. Yeah.
and it just got to be too much. It just got to be too much in order to present both sales. And um
And there are books, there's, shelves in the checkout area where there are books always available for
oh
purchase.
yeah, down by the self checks there are always books. It's as you're facing the self checks, it's
Mhm.
that wall behind it, and then there are some books even like picture books for kids in a couple of crates
Yeah.
to
So
the
if somebody
right.
has a book buying fix that they need to satisfy and it's not when the sale is on, there is always that option.
Yes.
But so you mentioned the hours for the sale and the dates, and it's not like you have to get there right when the doors open because, like you mentioned, the materials are continuously kind of replaced and replenished.
Hmm.
So while it's not always the same thing, that you really can't go at a bad time. There's always going to be some
Oh
selections.
no, it's always changing, and there's always a tremendous amount to choose from. Yeah, they
So
don't let it get down to like 8 books, and that's all you get.
And then what happens at the end of the sale? Anything that's left over is just repositioned in the friend's room and then comes back out for a different sale at a different time?
Well, a lot of times there's book services for donating books too,
Oh,
so that they rotate. So it depends on what it is. Some things are held on to, other things are go the way of Better World Books is the name of the service that distributes the books. So,
oh, that's cool. So potentially it's all fresh, a whole fresh selection.
oh yeah, yeah.
Very
For
cool.
each book sale, yeah,
Yeah.
especially with it being once a year now.
So a number of years ago, I noticed a woman had a list of specific books she was looking for and
Wow.
or authors. How hard is that to satisfy? I
I would say specific books is a lot more difficult than specific authors. Just because, like I said, we get donated. I mean, there are books that are bestsellers that get donated, you know? And so the chance of finding like a copy of The Women right now, which is
Kristen
still
Hanna.
so hot, very, very low chance of it happening. But, you know, um, a Patterson novel, I'm sure we'll have a lot of those. It just depends what you've read already
Yeah.
or what you want to pick up, to have your
Kristen
own
Hanna,
copy.
The Women, by the way, is a great, great read. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yep. My wife Mara actually bought it because she just was sick of waiting for it to come off of it being on hold. I'm like, try Libby, and she's like, I want the book.
I
So
know, yeah, on Libya, it took quite a while. I was like maybe 1,722 on the list, but and then it came up, and I was so surprised. And it was wonderful. It's a wonderful performance. So whether you read it or whether you listen to it, you can't go wrong.
well, and this isn't the used book sale, but the library playaways that we carry. We have the women on playaways, and that's kind of surprising. That one pops up most because people check it out and then they just bring it back since it's just a single book and you can listen to it anywhere. You don't need the internet connection. So that one, it always check the playaways if you don't want to read it and you like audiobooks. That's
Yeah,
also a possibility.
that's awesome. See, Tim, you're doing great at this. You have all the information we could possibly need. All right, I'm gonna throw one more
Golly,
curveball your
you're
way.
saying I'm almost as good as Lisa?
You I know the library, has events, so events like this book sale, but is it true? Is my calendar telling me the right thing that author Michael Perry is gonna be in Manitowoc tomorrow night?
That is also a truism that you have just spouted there. No, Michael Perry is going to be at UW uh, Wisconsin Green Bay Manitowoc Campus Theater, or as we all know and love it as the UW Center in Manitowoc. He will be coming tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at the theater. Absolutely free event. No reservations necessary. Just show up and it'll be an evening of storytelling. He will also be selling and signing books afterwards, but it's going to be a storytelling event followed by a Q&A and then into the signing and selling of books.
Very cool, I love it. Hey, okay, so I've read Population 485 by him,
Okay.
which I really enjoyed. So if I was gonna pick up another book, which would be the next recommendation?
Oh boy, you're really putting me on the spot,
Here
and
comes your curveball.
oh my goodness, I wish I had prepared better for that. Oh, I'm completely blanking.
Okay,
I
sorry.
feel
That
horrible.
was
I
really
feel
mean of me
horrible.
to do.
But what I will tell you is get to the library today because there's a whole selection of Michael Perry books right when you walk in the
Ooh.
door.
Ooh.
So I mean, oh, I
I
can't.
was thinking though about,
Roughneck Grace. Roughneck Race is a good one too.
Okay.
That's a collection of things he wrote for the Wisconsin State Journal. And so, if you want to get to know Michael Perry really quickly, and not by tomorrow night, you could stop by and pick up Roughneck Race.
Well, I was
Th-
just thinking it might be fun too to buy one of his books at the event so that he can
Oh,
autograph it,
now
right? Like that's kind of special.
that. See, look at you, upselling better than me. But I don't know what books he's bringing.
Okay,
To be
right.
honest, I don't know what merch he's bringing. I'd imagine, in addition to his books, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if he brought some music CDs, also of his band, the Long Beds.
Yeah, did you
I
say he's like the house band at Big Top Chautauqua?
kind of the house band at Big Top Chautauqua. They play there frequently, but he also tours. And it's like he does a show from there. He kind of hosts it, like for
Oh,
the NPR thing. So
cool.
I
So
mean,
is he
he's
doing
such a
this
great guy. He
is
is
he doing
such
this speaking tour because he's got a new book out?
No,
No?
no, he
Okay.
doesn't have a new book out. He released a novella, of course, the name of which I'm completely blanking on right now, about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. But no, he hasn't come out with any new books. But he's such a great storyteller, and he's just so kind of off the cuff. Like when he came on Emily's and my show, which was called MPL Insider, and we just had a great conversation for a half hour about everything from how we're both big sweaters when we work out, and like it just worked into the conversation, and he can talk on anything. Like he was talking about a pitch meeting that he was having that didn't work out. The project never went anywhere in Hollywood, but he was just talking about it like he could have been flipping burgers at a backyard barbecue and telling the story.
Oh, he
you know there
sounds so authentic, and that's how his story comes across too, like reading his book.
Oh yeah.
Just felt so authentic. I loved it.
Getting to know your neighbors one siren at a time. You know,
Awesome. So that's happening tomorrow night. I just want
yeah,
people to make sure that this is on your calendar. An evening with author Michael Perry. It's Thursday, June 19th, 6 p.m. Some people know it as the Extension. It's the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, Manitowoc Campus Theater, completely free, hosted by the Manitowoc Public Library.
yeah. It's actually the Manitowoc Public Library Foundation is sponsoring the event. So good to give them a shout out. They do a lot of great stuff. I mean, I could go on and on about the friends in the foundation because they do so many great things for the library. But Michael Perry, just show up. It is 6 p.m. tomorrow, absolutely free of charge, and it's going to be a great time.
Libraries are so quintessential to the foundation and fabric of our society. So,
Agreed.
bravo.
Agreed.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I know
For
I'm
playing
no
the part of
Lisa.
Lisa.
I do what I can.
My guest today, Tim Gadzinski of Manitowoc Public Library. Just a reminder, the used book sale, their biggest sale of the year, is June 26th to June 28th. I'm your host, Tina Prigge, signing off for this episode of Coffee on the Coast. Stay cool, everyone.